Today's season preview, the Minnesota Wild. We will be breaking down which players are fantasy relevant, which ones are due for a breakout, which ones to stay away from, and more importantly, will the Wild show Quinn Hughes the money? But before all that, let me remind you to follow us on social media platforms at Partial Break Pod on X, Instagram, TikTok. Like and subscribe on our YouTube and leave us a review. Tell us what you think about our previews and please join in on the conversation. Also, PBLL, our Partial Breakaway Listener League that we affectionately call Pebble, is open for registration. Please feel free. You will find the link on the description of this episode. Join in the fun. We had over 60 teams last year. We're aiming to double that at a minimum this year. It was a lot of fun. Please make sure that you join.
The Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 184 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. That was an extended 184 because that's how long this contract extension has been extending for Quinn Hughes. I'm co-host Junior, accompanied as usual by co-host Nick and producer Vince. Minnesota Wild on tap. How we feeling? One more thing before we start, before you tell me how you're feeling. This episode is brought to you by our three sponsors, Sportira, at Sportira.apparel on Instagram, Patisserie Boulangerie Italia, at Patisserie Italia on Instagram, and ANC Photo Boots, AAND Photo Boots on Instagram. Don't forget, if you call ANC Photo Boots and you tell them Partial Breakaway sent you, you get an even better price.
Absolutely, Junior. Well said, sir.
I would definitely get remarried for that promotion.
You know, you could have just said, have another kid, baptism or whatever, but I understand. I've met your wife. No.
She is your sister-in-law.
Yeah. Just kidding, Tanya. Please don't listen.
She doesn't.
All right. Guys, let's move in directly to the Minnesota Wild because this team is a team that puts up some fantasy superstar numbers.
And that's it. You're either a superstar or nothing.
Yeah,
The gap is big.
There's a gap. There's a gap in this lineup a little bit, but maybe you guys could help us out and determine who might actually come and fill that gap. No laughter. Guys, there has been no coaching change from last year. This team is coming back the way it is, but there are a couple of players that came in and a couple that got out, which I really want to talk about. So Blake Holman, great two-way player, is coming in to help out the Minnesota Wild. Oli Mata is coming in. Maxim Shabanov is coming in. Calvin Pickard is coming in. Who's out? Matt Zuccarello, who I felt was one of the darlings of this team, especially with how well he played with Kaprizov. They seem to find each other all over the ice all the time. He's out. Marcus Johansson is out. Vladimir Tarasenko is out. Jake Middleton is out. Last year, Minnesota had a record of 46, 24, and 12. That was good enough for, not sure in the league because it's not written, but it was written in our last one.
It was, no?
Yeah, it's okay. Teleprompter is giving me some issues recently, as I've been calling Daniel Nurse. I called Ryan Lynn in our San Jose preview, Jeremy Lynn. That was a teleprompter error, so I do apologize for that. And thank you for calling me out, by the way, on social media at Partial Break Pod if you want to send us hate mail. They were 7th overall in points in the NHL last year. So we're talking about a cup contender pretty much. Mm-hmm. The goals for, they had 268, which was 10th in the league, or tied with Boston.
Yeah.
Goals against, 235th in the league. That's fourth best goals against in the NHL. And they have a pretty hard division that they're in. So that's impressive stuff right there. Power play, they were third in the league with 25.2%. And PK, they were 16th in the league with 79.8. Gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about what I've just mentioned here. So I told you who's in and who's out. Any of these names think could improve any of these numbers that are there? Or Vince, any thoughts?
I think Blake Coleman could definitely help their PK. I think he was a PK specialist in Calgary. He's a little on the wrong side of 30 at 32 years old, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he can help those numbers. I worry a bit with the goals for this team and where the goals are going to come from if any of their top three guys get injured.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what role Maxim Shabanov plays with the Minnesota Wild.
He was highly touted.
He was highly touted. He had some expected rookie season, if you will, because he was a rookie, even though he came from the KHL. Offensively, he looked good, but his all-around numbers didn't look so good.
It's going to be interesting to see how he fits in for sure. If it's a top six role, I mean, kind of looks like it might have to be. But let's move on to our tier list and talk about our fantasy tiers. So I'm just going to remind all our listeners, Fantasy Star we have as our tier 1 Fantasy Star is somebody that's point per game or higher. Reliable starters, we have anywhere from 70 to 81 points. Supporting cast, we have between 60 and 69 points. And streamers, 45 to 59 points. So let's start with our Fantasy Star, which is 82 points or higher. It should be 84 now because technically we have 2 more games in the NHL. So point per
On
game
the
or
ball,
higher.
Nick.
Look, the darling of the team, Kirill Kaprizov. So projected, we're saying that he could possibly reach another 100-point season. How do you feel about Kirill the Thrill, Mr. Junior?
That's $17 million. He better hit 100 points per season. That's how I'm feeling.
That's the new going rate.
It's a big rate.
He just needs, I feel he just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like last year, he was healthy at 78 games. He put 89 points, but the year before that, 41 games, 67. The one time he hit 100 points, he played 81 games. But before that, he played 55 games. So I think health is it's not a concern, but he needs to stay healthy if he's going to hit that century mark.
Well, what I'm most interested to see is he lost his Robin. His Robin was Zuccarello. And the word was when Zuccarello signed with LA that the problem in Minnesota at times was that they only looked for each other on the ice. So now what does he do that Zuccarello's not there? I think he's talented and so good that it won't matter. He'll adapt. But I'm still curious to see how it plays out and who that new Robin's going to be.
That's a very good point. My concern with Kaprizov is not so much of how good he'll be necessarily. It's more of the lines of where are you drafting this guy? Because, if he's in the first round, I think he's a first round player.
He's a top.
Right? Is he top 6, 7? 6, 7? Or is he more in the late first rounds because of what Vince mentioned, right? Some injury past, not so much last year, but in the seasons before that, maybe.
Well, when we did the San Jose preview, which, by the way, gave us record-breaking views, FYI. So Minnesota Wild, if you don't want to be outdone by your San Jose Sharks rivals, man, just share this episode. Share it and let us show the people that the Wild fans are more popular than the San Jose Sharks. But no, like we said at the San Jose Sharks preview, we kind of slotted Celebrini right before Kaprizov, right? Mm-hmm. That was the cutoff. And then after Celebrini said, oh, okay, now we're talking Kaprizov, Pasternak, maybe Jack Hughes for those of you who are not afraid of his injuries. So it'll be interesting. I mean, look, he's a 100-point player. He's got to stay healthy to do it.
89 last year.
But a lot of uncertainty though going into this year. I think the fact that Quinn Hughes hasn't yet signed could be a big distraction.
Really?
For their sake, I hope it gets done. Yeah, because what if he doesn't sign? Then what happens to this team? Already it's star or nothing. There's no in between. There's no depth and nothing in between. So do you go for it all and not trade him and then hopefully sign and trade in the offseason if he doesn't want to stay? Or
I don't know how much that's going to affect a guy like Kaprizov. Who,
No, not Kaprizov, but the team in general.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, Quinn Hughes is the other guy that we have in this tier because, like it or not, this guy is one of the superstars, maybe top 5 defensemen in the league,
Well, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
right?
I mean,
He's not the best. I don't care what
there's
people say. He's not the
Makar-
best. There's
Makar-
Makar there.
No, Bouchard's there.
And Bouchard's there. These guys are two guys that
You just said something very controversial there. You're talking about Bouchard in the same vein as Quinn Hughes and Kyle Makar.
yes.
Some people will be very upset.
the one who didn't have him as number 1 defenseman. You,
Yeah. You're the problem.
But a lot of people still, despite his good season, don't consider Bouchard a number 1 defenseman.
We're a fantasy hockey podcast. So for me, players that put up these kind of points
Yeah.
over year, which has been 2 years in a row now that Bouchard has been absolutely phenomenal.
And
fantasy.
as a listener told us in one of the comments on our social posts, Makar, because we said it's Makar-esque numbers, right? 95 points. Makar has never hit 95 points in his career.
Wow.
He's paced for it, but never hit it.
Wow, that's this is why we need you to join these conversations. Put Junior in his place. All right. I waited until you took a sip of drink for that one. So Quinn Hughes, what are we saying Quinn Hughes is going to do this year? I hope that he gets the contract done before the actual start of the season because let's just put it spade of spade.
Let's just put spade.
Let's just put all our cards on the table here. Quinn Hughes will be a distraction if it continues going on, and people are going to start asking the questions. Why is he not signed?
Yeah.
Is he going to go to UFA? You traded so much to get him. All that's gone now, right? So all of these questions will be pervolating around.
Yeah, but for Quinn Hughes in
The source.
the past 4 years, he's been always pacing for 80 plus points. So, I mean, nothing will change this year. This is what he's going to be pacing for. And if he stays healthy, he can even hit the 90 points for this season. There's no real competition behind him. You have a young Brock Faber there, but there's no one that's going to be taking his PP1 or his ice time as the number 1 defenseman on that team. So he is in the Makar Werenski conversation where these guys are going to play the heavy minutes, play the important minutes, and play the offensive minutes that you need them on your fantasy team.
Yeah, I mean 90-point player possibly this year.
Between Vancouver and Minnesota, I'm not sure if you guys mentioned it, but he was averaging 27 minutes and 44 seconds of ice time a game.
Yeah, last year.
That's, personally, I think it's a bit too much, but
Well, I mean, if you're
you're
going
going to play that much, you're going to put up points.
to get paid $18 million.
You're going to get paid.
Matt Boldy is the other player that is not getting paid, by the way, $18 million. Matt Boldy, only $7 million for Mr. Matt Boldy, and he's another guy that could put up 90 points, right? So we're talking about 3 superstar players here that are in our tier 1 for this team. What can you guys tell me about Boldy, other than the fact that you stole him from me
I did.
in a trade that with your enemies in Project Llama?
What I will say is that, your thing is I wait till the 24-year-old season to really make a final decision on what I think about the player. You didn't need to make a final decision then because Boldy showed signs of it. But in his 24-year-old season, he went from 27 goals to 42.
Yeah.
So like you saw the leap in development, you saw where he's heading, and I think this is who he is. I think he's
40 goal
on an
player.
extraordinary year. He can score you 50, but I think you can expect 40 goals, almost point per game, if not point per game yearly.
The only thing I'm a little bit skeptical of is, yes, he scored 42 last year. He was also his highest shooting percentage of his career. He's averaging about 12.9 and he ended up shooting 16.5 last year, which is a little bit exaggerated. So maybe those goal numbers are going to go down. But I mean, I'm expecting 35 to 40 again this year.
Yeah, he's gonna get the top minutes. He's gonna get
Top power play.
top power play. He's gonna play with one of the best quarterbacks on the power play in Quinn Hughes
For a full season.
For a full season, one of the best.
Hopefully.
Well, that's it.
You know, like Kaprizov, Quinn Hughes, you can't ask for more to play on the power play.
He missed 6 games last year, or else this could have been 45 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But look, 30 power play points. So, like you said, a full season with Quinn Hughes and Kaprizov. And
The question is, after we talk about these three guys, what's next?
who's left?
That's a very good segue as well, because Eriksson Ek is the next player. Joel Eriksson Ek is the next player that we're going to talk about. And guys, look, like him or hate him, he's a number 1B center at best, I would say, or second line center probably on most teams. But this team doesn't have centers. So Eriksson Ek is probably the best that they do have. And he paced for about, 70 points last year? So, and only at a $5.25 million contract. That's pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I'll give you even more numbers. Expected goals for percentage while he's on the ice at 5v5, 61%. So the Wild scored 61% of their goals when he was on the ice at 5-on-5. Expected goals for is 51. That's great. His Corsi was 50. Basically, like what these numbers telling me is one of the best marks. This was one of the best marks of his career, but is noticeably ahead of his expected goal share, which was 51%, meaning shooting percentage and finishing is doing a lot of the work rather than pure shot quality or dominance. So, I mean, it's iffy, right? He's like fringe a little bit in terms of reliable starter. I don't think he's good enough to be. How do you call it?
Number one.
A fantasy star in terms of our tiers. But if they were to get a number one center, would he drop to almost a supporting cast
Irrelevancy?
role? Maybe not irrelevancy, but a supporting cast role. I don't know. For the time being, though, for me, he's definitely a reliable starter.
Look, he's never hit 70 before. And that's the only thing I have an argument with this ranking. The only time I could see this ranking make sense is if he takes power play 1. Because if he's on PP1, which we'll see that there are other options there, there's a chance that, Boldy, Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, Quinn Hughes, like he's surrounded by so much talent that there's a chance that his power play points percentage might actually increase enough where he gets to that 70-point mark. But it's iffy. I think it's stretching it a bit.
His 5-on-5 numbers are great, but his with 67% of the power play, I would have hoped he had more than 16 power play points.
But he's had 23 in the past.
Yeah, but he needs to stay healthy. I mean, he hasn't played 82 games.
That is correct. That's true, too.
He's
That's
never
very
played
important.
82 games. So it's just, he needs to stay healthy.
That's very important.
The
You're
more
right.
games, like Nick said, he never hit 70 points in his career. He didn't even pace for 70 points ever. So I think this might be a little bit of an overreach for Eriksson Ek. But
So we all agree we should lower that.
But the problem is, if you lower him, is there anybody that could? Is there
You're like a professional segue person.
Is there
'cause
anyone?
Ryan Hartman is the other guy that could actually do things. And Ryan Hartman, what's crazy about Ryan Hartman is, he's on a contract year. So that's going to be something.
That's huge.
And the other part is that Ryan Hartman has played on the top line with Kaprizov before, and he doesn't look out of place because he's the type of guy that could make room for a guy like Kaprizov. He's the kind of guy that will be in the right position. I don't know. What can you tell me about Ryan Hartman? Like, should he be the number one guy and Eriksson Ek maybe play with Boldy on the second line? Because they want to split things up. They can't have everybody on the first line.
No, the problem is if they stack up their first line, then who's your supporting cast? I mean, you have
Coleman.
You have Coleman, Hartman, and Brink. Like Brink can even crack the Phillies top 6 at some point.
I like Brink as a player, though.
As a player, 100%.
But maybe not as fantasy star.
Like I would, even Hartman being between 60 and 69 points is a reach right now because the most he paced for was 65 points.
He
which
has
got-
gotten 65 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, 65 in 82 games, and that's the year he scored 34 goals.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. This is the biggest question in Minnesota: is are any of these players gonna step up and take that number one role at center?
I think it's going to have to come from Shabanov, Yurov, like those younger players that need to take the next step in their development. Because, I mean, for me, there are no players worthy of our supporting cast metric. Hartman, to me, is a streamer because for the first couple of weeks, it might be Hartman. And then it's most likely going to be Coleman at some point, and then Yurov at another point, and then Shaban. Like, it's just these guys want to win now. So whoever's the hot hand, that's the guy who's going to get the opportunity. And they're all very streaky, it seems. So
Well, you mentioned Coleman. Let's go right into Coleman. In a Cats league, I could see Coleman being relevant, right? Even for Hartman, I actually think Hartman in a category league could give you some benefits as well. But talking about Coleman, do we see Coleman having an impact in any way in fantasy? Should he even be mentioned anywhere here?
Dynasty leagues or leagues where you're starting a full lineup, maybe as a depth winger, he can give you a few points, but I don't know. Going back to Hartman and Eck, my biggest worry with them is Minnesota is going to be looking to trade for a number one center all year long, and if they do get that trade partner, these guys all get bummed down. So it's tough. But for Coleman,
But they have nothing to give. Vince.
no, exactly. That's why
They have Wallstead.
That's why
And
they're
they
in
need
this
Wallstead because Gustafsson's injured.
exactly. But that's why they're in the situation they are now, right? Because they don't have anything to give.
Yeah.
So
Coleman could look. He scored 20 goals in 69 games with Calgary last year. I mean,
Only 35 points, though.
only 35 points, but you're putting him on a better team, right? You're putting him. He's better surrounded, maybe, because depends where he slots in the lineup.
Maybe.
But guys, 152 hits in 69 games.
Yeah,
Not
that's
too
what-
shabby.
category leagues, right?
176 shots on goal in 69 games. So peripheral wise, in category leagues in Bash, pretty decent. Like even he's like just under a block per game, which is pretty cool too. So
Yeah.
he's got value in certain leagues. If it's a points only league, maybe a little less. What I like, the thing with Coleman too is,
Short-handed goals.
yeah, but last year Eriksson Ek got 18% of his shifts started in the defensive zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Coleman is going to alleviate a little bit off that because
But he plays wing, Coleman.
he
not
plays center wing. He
Oh,
can play
yeah?
both. Yeah, he's a center left wing.
According to Fantrax or according to NHL?
According to okay, well, Dobber Hockey just has him at left wing.
I've never seen him play center.
I thought he was center left wing.
No.
But regardless, yeah, shoot. Wait, let me see.
His
I remember him being a face-off guy at 37%. Yeah, no,
he only
num-
took 13
face
faceoffs,
offs one.
which is basically
yeah, but you see here at the when he was with New Jersey, he was a big face-off guy.
Oh, okay.
But he can.
So
he
in
can-
2017, when you were about 10 years old,
yeah. No, but he's close to a 50% face-off guy.
yeah,
Last year, not so much, but the year before, he was a 48% guy. So he can still take face-offs, not necessarily. My point is that now, they lost Nico Sturm, who took a lot of that, who with McCarron and Eriksson Ek started a lot of their shifts on the defensive zone. And
They didn't lose Nico Sturm. He's still there.
and is it Nico or Marco?
Marco is a coach.
So it's Nico.
He's still there.
He's still there. Okay, well, all right.
I guess just go straight to DraftKings.
Yeah, just go straight into DraftKings, I guess, at this point.
all right, no. So Blake Coleman, we were talking about him as a streamer,
Where is he?
and
Oh, he's here. Sorry about that.
yeah, so Blake Coleman, we had him as a streamer, basically just for cast leagues.
Yeah.
I don't see much else for Blake Coleman. Junior's gonna get updated on a couple of his stats that he's throwing out there. But you know what? I'm actually
No,
very impressed.
the stats were good. I just didn't think he was on the team anymore.
No, the stats were good, but I'm actually very impressed that you remember Blake Coleman as a center. I don't think the guy has foot speed anymore to ever be a center.
You
again.
know why I remember? Because a lot of people were saying
And in New
that
Jersey,
Montreal should go get him, and they mentioned how he could take face-offs and stuff. So I thought he was a center at the time.
10 years ago, what was happening 10 years ago?
Mark Bergevin was in charge.
I didn't even have kids 10 years ago.
Well, none of us had kids 10 years ago. We had a lot less white hair 10 years ago.
I mean, I still don't have white hair, but
How about you just go to DraftKings?
he was still in the crib. I'm pretty sure
I
Junior
was
was still in the crib 10 years ago.
That's white.
Are you guys waiting for me? All right. It all comes down to this. Will Blake Coleman take faceoffs? I don't know, guys. I really don't know if he'll take faceoffs for the Minnesota Wild, but if you're in a Cats league, hopefully he does. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
With DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet text pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings Predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in Predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
All right. Moving on to our goalies, because this team does have some very good goaltending, and it comes to them from two, I think, star goalies, I would say, in Gustafsson and Wallstad. And then they also have Calvin Pickard as a third goalie to help them out this year, because Gustafsson will start the year injured. So, Vince, let's go to you here. Philip Gustafsson, you weren't a big fan of his game until you started looking deeper into his stats.
Yeah, 100%. That was one that was going to say, well, you know what? Like that 6.25 contract that he just signed, what's it for? Then you look at his stats and you're like, 50 games played, 28 wins, 15 losses, 6 losses in the OT, 4 shutouts, goes against 2.67, save percentage over 9.904, quality starts 30. So more than half of his starts were quality starts. So I was not a big fan, and I know there was a trade also in one of our leagues with him involved. I'm like, why are you giving him so much for such?
Was it for Pasternak? I think.
Yeah, for such a player like Gustafsson, but he put up the numbers last year and the year before that, so that contract comes into play. The one problem I see with Minnesota right now is that they have 2 A goalies. So and one of them is due for a contract next year in Wallstad. What are they going to do? Like Wallstad last year, 35 games played, 18 wins, 9 losses, 6 in OT, 4 shutouts, goes against 2.58, save percentage 0.916, 24 quality starts for a 23-year-old turning 24. Like those are great numbers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a new believer in Philip Gustafsson on the podcast. And Junior, like, how does this play out? Because obviously Gustafsson's injured starting the year, so we're expecting Wallstad to start hot and take the reins right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure. But the reason we were skeptical of Gustafsson was because up until last year, where he finally was able to stack 2 consecutive seasons with great numbers, he was a 1 year I'm good, 1 year I'm not so good, 1 year I'm good. And that year where the trade happened in one of our leagues in LPHL was one of the years where he was coming off a great year, but the year prior he sucked. Yeah. So we were like, wow, how are you taking this guy for a star like Pasternak, or was it Evan Bouchard or whatever? But look, credit to him. He was able to stack 2 consecutive seasons with fantastic numbers, and now he's on the shelf. He's starting the season injured, and I don't know how that's going to play out. But as a 1A, 1B for these guys going forward, if they can lock up Wallstead long term, it's not a bad combo to have. And I mean, it's not a crazy, exaggerated salary either.
Well, we were talking before the episode, and we were talking about Minnesota's goaltending situation, but it could be that they're so strong on the back end
Yeah.
that it helps these goalies out tremendously because their defense is stacked with Quinn Hughes, Spurgeon, Brodin, Faber. Oli Mata is new to the team, but he's reliable if you have him as a number 5. Right, and Bogosian or whoever else as the number 6.
They're young players. They have Spacek, they have Lambos, they have Hunt, who can all play in the NHL also. So that top 4 is one of the better top 4s in the NHL.
Yeah, well, since you mentioned the prospects, let's go right into them because there's a couple of names here to look at. There's Charlie Stramel, there's Rasmus Kumpulainen, there's Riley Heidt, who I have shares of in my dynasty leagues. There's a couple of more, I think, that I had seen this year recently drafted. But, Yurov, if you want to call him a prospect. Ryder Ritchie.
Adam Benak.
Adam Benak.
There's our guy from DPR.
Aaron
Harju.
Ryder Ritchie.
I said that already.
Oh, yeah. So
Thanks for listening.
No problem.
Yeah. So, these are all decent, I would say. Middle of the pack.
Yeah,
a little
there's
less.
just too much of a gap between.
It depends who you're counting here, right?
Yeah.
Because Yurov has some NHL upside and some.
He's kind of already in the NHL. They
Yeah.
played a full season, so it's hard to count him in here. Yeah. But I'd say the one guy that stands out that has offensive credibility and could turn out to be maybe something is Aaron Kiviharju, defenseman, Finnish.
You would put Kirvi Harju ahead of Ryder Ritchie in your assessment of who has the most upside? Wow.
I think so.
You're a believer. But you always like
I'm
these
not-
5'9" defensemen.
Yeah, I like these young, these small defensemen, but I'm just not crazy about Ryder Ritchie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open for Adam Benak. He's got skill. He's just a small kid.
Benach.
Is it Benich?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to cap leagues. We're going to talk a little bit about the best contract in the NHL, Matt Boldy.
Oh, my God.
4 more years at $7 million. You won't even be able to trade for this guy in a cap league.
Whoever
because-
has this guy, you store him up and keep him and untouchable, my
Yeah,
friend.
hopefully you get a bunch of other guys that cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, my car is due soon, so.
Well, another guy that's due. So Quinn Hughes is considered one of the best contracts now for this year
yeah.
at $7.85 million AAV, but it's only for 1 year because he's looking for an extension, and that extension could go 16, 17, 18 million dollars if we're going to be following the trend of the NHL recently, right? And Quinn Hughes is a point-producing defenseman that plays 27 minutes. I mean, come on, how are you not paying this guy $17 million?
How, like, if you had to compare, okay, Celebrini is not a great comparison, if you will, but Celebrini signed 18.5, correct? Is Quinn Hughes, as a defenseman who can produce as much as he does, which is point per game plus, is he worth more to a team or the same to a team as a Macklin Celebrini is?
Okay, so this is where the question comes in. If I'm playing 27 minutes a game, Celebrini isn't playing 27 minutes a game. So I would argue that maybe he is worth as much, or at least the 18 million that Leo Carlson signed for.
Yeah, because we forgot about that contract, that 18 million of Leo Carlson. But this thing with Hughes McCarr is going to be interesting to see who signs first, because this is going to be a cat and mouse of who's going to sign. Because
Who wants to be the highest paid player?
No, but because listen, we're all in agreement. I think even Minnesota Wild fans are not dreamers. They know McCarr is the number one defenseman in this league. Like there's no one better, whether it's fantasy or not, or overall, he is the number one defenseman in the NHL. So what Quinn signs for, then whoever has McCarr has to worry because he's going to sign for more than what Quinn signs. And
Yeah, but we're
are
probably
these
just,
stories
like, half
yes,
a
but are
million.
these stories true about Quinn not signing or not because he really wants to go play with his brother Jack and Luke?
I personally, I just don't think these are true stories. But then again,
But they're
we
out
see,
there.
Well, I didn't think that the Brady Kachuk thing was real either, and he went to play with his brother in Florida, right?
Exactly.
So I'm starting to question my reality.
The longer this goes unsigned, the more worried I am. But the more worried I would be for Minnesota fans.
Okay, Kirill Kaprizov, 8 years, 17 million AAV. We've marked this down as a bad contract, not because it's necessarily a bad contract. It's just he has to stay healthy. He has to stay playing relevant, and you're not hitting 100 points, but you're getting paid like somebody that is.
But it's not only that. It's just he went up like 17 million at the cap at what it is right now. It's still a lot of money. Like even in cap leagues, to have a $17 million player getting 100 points, you could almost have two players. Even if you spend 20 million on two players that could get you both like 90 points, you're almost better off.
But it's also
Hold on, I didn't get the math. Can you math the math again?
Because I didn't want to make it exactly half of 17 because you won't find those players that are going to get you half.
Well, Boldy's at 7,
Yeah.
but I mean,
How many of
it's not
those?
fair.
You need him and a Caulfield together, let's say. You know what I mean? Like, what are the odds you have those two
Well-
together? But
no. But the thing with Kaprizov is
You
it's also his age. He's 29 years old, starting his $17 million contract.
yeah.
Macklin Celebrini is 19, starting a $15 million contract. So
No. Celebrini's 18.5.
18.
Yeah, he's not 19 yet.
Bedard is 15. Sorry.
Bedard is 15.
But let's say Celebrini 18.5, but he's 20, 21. He's getting into his
Yeah, you're
prime.
saying that his prime years are
You
going
know,
to be.
so
yeah.
like when this contract will be in balanced with the salary cap at some point in 4 or 5 years, he's going to be 33, 34. Is he going to be able to perform like Panarin is right now, you know, at that age? That's going to be the biggest question.
I think for that, like, they'll never have a problem with Kaprizov not performing. I think he's still going to put up points. It's just based off the percentage of the cap at that season, if it makes sense.
All right. To our award-winning game show, the Partial Breakaway Jeopardy Edition. Gentlemen, I would like you to choose a category between must draft, draft if value drops, late round flyer, watch list, avoid at all costs, or breakout candidate. And assign a dollar amount to how confident you are. A $500 category is the most confident, where a $100 category is the least. I'll start with Vince here. Category, please.
I will go with draft. No, I will go with late round flyer
For how much?
for $200,
Oh,
and I'll put Ryan Hartman there.
$200. Not very confident in your take there.
Now, like I'm hoping for like
You're hoping.
What's it called? There's a genie in a bottle that because it's a contract year.
Lightning in a bottle?
Lightning in a bottle. There we go. Not genie in a bottle.
jeez.
Lightning. Oh, that was good. Yeah, contract year. The opportunity is there to take that number one center position because there's not much there. So I'd go with a late round flyer with Hartman.
I'll go with watch list. Give me watch list. Maxim Shabanov. I think if given the opportunity to play with Kaprizov, we could see some boosted numbers. So I'll take watch list 300 Maxim Shabanov.
All right. I'm going to go with late round flyer, and I'm going to go late round flyer at $400. And I'm going to put Danila Yurov. And I've been kind of trying to get this player in all my mock drafts late to see if he does take over a top 6 role on this team, whether it's from playing with Boldy or playing with Kaprizov. Maybe this year is finally the year where he kind of breaks out. And I mean, I could have put him as breakout candidate as well. But I just want I just want to take a late round flyer because I'm not married to it, right? A late round flyer, I'll drop it for another streamer later on during the season if I see that he doesn't get that chance. So my watch list, my late round flyer is Yurov, and I hope that he actually breaks out this season. Guys, I give you like 3 categories in one there. What? All right. Bold prediction, the award-winning segment of Partial Breakaway Podcast. Bold predictions. Guys, I want to hear what you guys have to say that is bold.
I think I got my bold prediction last year for the Minnesota Wild.
Oh, yeah. What was your bold prediction last year? You wrote it down.
Mine was Brock Faber over 50 points, and he got 51.
That's right.
Nick's was Wallstead to play
40 games played, which
40
is
games, played 35.
He played 35. I
he
got
also
close.
had-
I got close.
First of all, say both. He decided to
Oh.
he decided to mention 2 of them. So he had Spurgeon 45 plus points.
I don't know what you're
Didn't
talking about. I think that's a lie.
Yeah, and that's it. I didn't have any last year, so
yeah. What was yours last
I
year?
had Bouillon to get 50 plus points.
Yeah, he's not even on the team anymore. There you go. All right. So this year,
Oh, here we go, boys and girls. I'm going to go with Eriksson Ek. I was going to say the other one. You see that?
Ekman Larson, you were going to
Yeah,
say.
exactly. So
Eriksson
Ek to finally hit 70 points.
I like it. I mean, you kind of put it in the prod sheet, and now you're backing it up.
Yeah.
So you're putting where your money where your mouth is.
There we go.
Junior. What? What's your bold prediction?
My bold prediction is Quinn Hughes hits 100 points.
So you guys know that's not going to happen, right? He did Bouillon 50 last year.
Quinn Hughes on a contract year will hit 100 points.
All right, my bold prediction, ladies and gentlemen, is I think Kaprizov this year, without Zuccarello, actually does better in the goal scoring category. So I actually see him this year scoring 50 goals. I mean, you might say that's not bold enough, but he was 45 last year. I think he could hit 50. Maybe,
He's been close a few times, but never hit it.
guys,
I think
this
he
guy can
pays
win
for
the
he
Rocket.
pays for 50.
That's what it is. He's going to win the Rocket. That's my bold prediction.
Wow.
That's not 50 goals. That's going to be like more than 55 goals to win the Rocket.
Well, last year,
Yeah.
52 goals won the Rocket, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm right there. Why not? I mean, you took it all the way. You might as well jump off the cliff.
So if Eriksson Ek is getting 70 points, Kaprizov is winning the Rocket, and Quinn Hughes is hitting 100 points,
Quinn Hughes is siding with
Minnesota Wild's winning that division or what?
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I think second in the division is very possible.
Yeah, I think.
Second to who? The next preview?
Interesting.
Maybe.
Yes, I think it is the next preview. You should all listen to the next preview, which is Colorado. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, but also join in the conversation. Send us either your prediction for the Minnesota Wild. Leave something in the comments letting us know exactly what you think of our bold prediction. What would be your bold prediction? And also, Pebble is open. PBLL, the Listener League.
Link is in the
The bio below. Please go ahead and join in. And I have a dad joke for you.
Oh, go, Nick.
Stealing is
It's okay. It's okay. You got it.
So my wife told me that she has 14 reasons to leave me, including my obsession with tennis. So I told her, that's 15, love.
Oh, mine were corny, but yours are just.
I get it's good. It's good.
Have a good night, peeps.
15
Minnesota
love.
Wild fans, don't be outdone by Chicago and San Jose.
Let's do it for Quinn.
Guys, does he sign?
Show Quinn that
The
Minnesota
freaking
is
money!
show Quinn that Minnesota is the best fans in the league.
By watching Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast and sharing the link to PBLL and the episode.
I'm sure Quinn already watches.
Yeah, he called me to tell me he wanted to come on.
Here
I
we
told him, no, we're not ready for you.
Have a good night, peeps.